with pa ashukin pa paut, wu halal ashuk kawun jawafne ye. Anuki kasam im pa paut, wu pa paut kawun kasam emne ye. Anuki wahu ame pa paut, wu pa paut kawun wahu ame ne ye. Nakuk kadur naja ame kasam im pa paut, wu kabub ame muj kas Nakuk kador kawan kalil pafaf, Nakuk arud jawef pa paut, Ame wase, ame aradni, kawun leye, bakoi jawef pa paut, anuki yabed bi ye nefasni, pa paut kawun anuki, pa paut kador nakuk kador, pa paut amol nakuk amol, rahubat nafir ba, anechtat reetat amuntat. Thank you all for tuning in. I have a quick message for you all because first of all, let me say this. The most powerful energy that exists in a human being, or the most powerful energy that a person can carry with them, is authenticity. So, being authentic means being yourself. And sometimes it's not easy because sometimes you're put in situations where you have to behave a certain way to get things done. You understand? So there's a lot of work that I've done for many, many years. And a lot of people in the tribe, are very jealous, the men and the women. And most of them are witches and warlocks. And people will say, oh, that's not real, keep it on illegal, and all this other stuff. But see, what y'all did was, y'all just opened up a can of whoop ass. Excuse my language, but I just want to be authentic, okay? You're going to get your behinds whipped now because one thing I'm not is a liar, one thing I'm not is a con artist, and one thing I'm not is a mind, play mind games. And one thing I'm not is a witch. I am not a witch. And I got my screen blank for a reason because I'm not dressed properly. I'm in my home, relaxing, doing my household duties, and I have a lot of responsibilities. I'm going to put I'm going to go live very soon. I will send a flyer out. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a whole bunch of people on the wall. I'm also going to get I would say a blackboard, but they don't make blackboards anymore. I'm also going to get a whiteboard. And this whiteboard, I'm going to get with the markers and I'm going to teach. Okay? I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to prove that the Williams and Williams law firm is fake. And there's a whole lot of yesterday I got with an attorney and we went through some things and they helped me overstand some things that I didn't overstand. And like I said, I've had these transcripts for a minute. I just didn't go live with it because there was other things that I was taking care of. Okay, but a lot of you are going to get exposed. So get your behinds ready. All right, you're going to get exposed for what you did to Pa Nabab Yanun. And after I expose all of you, shortly after that, he'll be out. Okay? And when you hear from the master teacher, the first time you hear his voice, it's going to be on my channel, Ashanti Zulu. Because y'all swear, you all look at these people in the tribe and you think that they got this deep relationship with the master, but they don't. Okay? They're jinns. They work for Jan, the vice master of the jinn. They're jinns. Some of them have walk-ins, and they're all wicked beings. And the only way they can create these situations and this confusion is to bring them among us. How else are they going to keep the master teacher locked up? You understand? Of course, we know the judicial system plays a major role in his incarceration. But think about it. The reason why the master teacher was locked up is because his family put him in there. Yes, Rahul Bat, Mr. Hamburger. And I don't know who S Claims is. How you doing? So today I'm going to read out of the book of Revelations, chapter 18, from our interpretation from Dr. Malachi York in what he called L's Injiyl, L's Holy Injiyl, the Book of Revelations. Okay, and Baba says in the beginning of this book, within the confines of these pages, there are facts beyond any doubts. Thus, begin all acts and thinking by using back then, he said, El Kalum. So today, I'm just coming live to let y'all know. Like I said, my screen is dark for a reason. I got it dark. I'm coming live to sit and talk to you all and let you know that these niggas done pissed me off. So now I'm about to really expose them. See what you shouldn't have did was you hit a beehive with that, what you so-called exposing me, trying to say I'm crazy, saying that the Williams and Williams law firm is real, it's fake, okay? And Sakina has a lot to do with that. Sakina, who y'all know as Patricia Lewis. I mean, why don't this girl, I mean, how much money y'all done stole from the tribe already? You know, y'all sitting up here calling me a thief when y'all are the thieves. I'm getting ready to expose all you niggas, all of y'all. And all of y'all are sick. And all of y'all in Africa got malaria. All right? Y'all are a bunch of, the thing is, I don't know. I said to myself, I was going to look up. Last night I was going to look up and I was going to look up. Hold on, let me see something. Last night I was going to look up like what makes people like black people turn against their own, like what makes informants do the things that they do, like what makes a person, like let's say if I was in high school and they recruited me to be an informant and I was working undercover in the tribe, right? And then once I started reading the books and started learning who Dr. Malachi York is, I wouldn't want to be a part of that organization anymore. You know, we're in the end of times. There's a lot of evil things that are taking place on the planet. And this is a place, this planet is evil. However, Panabab Yanun has promised us that if we trust in him, that we will see, we will witness their whole wicked kingdom go down. And all the black devils, and all devils go down with them. So, like I said, I'm getting ready to do a big, big, big exposure. I'm going to expose every last one of you niggas. So get ready, including you too, Sincere Ray, Insincere Ray, aka Ronald West, and your ugly freaking wife with a bald-headed self. Your ugly wife with her big fake teeth and her ugly freaking self and her little freaking, she looks ugly. You've been messing with me too. You, Eldridge Alston, what's his name? Demir, who calls the brother, call himself Demir, Kermit, Dwayne Nolans, him, all of y'all going on my wall. What's her name? Fatima Okron, Prince York mother, Prince York, Nabab Tet, Tapa, Seneb, all of them. Every last, that brother that called himself Menace to Society, him, he going up on my wall. Listen, KU's, Waki, all of them. That since the master teacher's been in there, Neefu, Rochelle, Rick, listen, it's going to be a wall full of black devils. And all you whores are going up there too. And I'm going to have a board. And I just ordered that, and I'm gonna also order I get the markers from Staples, and I'm gonna see because now y'all done opened up a can of worms, and so now not a can of worms, y'all hit a beehive, and so now I'm going to expose all of them, and where am I? I'm here. I'm where you are, sis. All in the mental reservoir. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to expose all of them, and I'm gonna put them on a wall, and I'm gonna put their names above their picture, and I'm gonna explain each and every one of them who they are. This might take 2 hours, it might take 3, I don't know, but it's going to be a very intense, well planned, and well thought out exposure of all black devils, of all the lawyers that came on board, who they were. It's going to be lawyers up there with their names over it and everything. And I'm going to expose them because this brother yesterday, was it Sunday, went live with Eldridge Austin, who y'all call Amunuma, and said that the Williams and Williams law firm is real. I'm going to prove to you through beyond a shadow of a doubt that the Williams and Williams law firm is fake. I'm going to also have a recording of me and another attorney talking so you can hear it from a lawyer, all right? And then y'all can think about who y'all been supporting. Y'all can think about who's been lying to you all these years. And you could think about who is who in the planet Earth. And you know how we trap the devil is we trap the devil with the truth. So now, let's get into, oh, like I said, another thing. So I got a big, I'm gonna go in my other room. And I'm gonna put a divider up so y'all can't see inside of my room. I'm gonna divide there, and I have a really big wall. And I'm gonna get a stand for my board, and I'm gonna have my markers, and I'm going to write down quotes from the book of Revelations. I'm going to expose the people. I'm gonna break their names down to a science and everything. And another thing I wanted y'all to know, because somebody sent me this information the other day, and I forgot all about this. I didn't even know that. You know that picture that I showed y'all with me and the Tibetan monk? I think that may have been the master teacher. So if you go to the Man from Planet Risk book on page 10, right? Baba talks about duplicates, how thousands of people are doubled. And in fact, he says everyone has 7 clones. The only problem you are having with cloning is the emotional body and the intelligence being duplicated. Word for word, feeling for feeling, and thought for thought. A clone can be given the same emotions, but the reactions won't be the same unless they are raised together in the same environment under the same conditions. Clones are in tune with each other unconsciously and linked etherically, which means anything can happen to you, the clone counterparts, and you feels also. For instance, you may have a sharp pain for no reason, for no apparent reason, like your hand may feel like it has been cut. That is because the only hand of your clone may have been. That's because the hand of your clone may have been. You can have an emotional breakdown out of a clear blue sky because one of your counterparts did. For instance, me, this is Baba saying this, I have had smoke come out of my mouth. It was strange tobacco. For no apparent reason, it turned out that my duplicate is in Tibet, smokes, and the smoke came through me. I do not smoke anything. And then this is what else Baba said about the monks. Baba said, I entered the order of Akakia. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. ACACIA, under the most worshipful master, the third, Charles Tinsley, 33 degrees of King Solomon's Lodge, number 14 of Brooklyn, New York. I also passed at the New York Grand Lodge, Enoch Lodge in Brooklyn, New York, on Putnam and Nostrand Avenue. Prince Hall affiliated and of the ancient and accepted Scottish Rite Freemasonry, A.F. and A.M. jurisdiction of Georgia called Zerubbabel Grand Chapter, Royal Archmason, United States and Canada. In my heart and in my mind, from my experiences, the sectism and separation will be eliminated by the efforts of those among us whose concerns are Freemasonry enshrined and not self-gains and egos. Again, this is what Baba says about the lodge in Freemasonry. He says, in my heart and in my mind, from my experiences, the sectism and the separation will be eliminated by the efforts of those among us whose concerns are Freemasonry enshrined and not self-gains and egos. My travels took me throughout the world, from sitting with the mystics and the monks under the Tibetan master Lama Mat Konkamo of China and the Grand Lodge in Cairo, Egypt, Northeast Africa, to being a member of the Rosicrucian Order since 1974 AD, as well as a starter mystic order in 1975 AD for more than 25 years. So you see, Baba was amongst the Tibetans. So that means that when I saw that Tibetan monk, he was with somebody else though. And the man that he was with was skinny and had a big head, like an alien. And I looked at him and he kept turning his body to the right. So I couldn't see him. Cause at first when I went in there, I was like, I thought, cause I seen Baba before, he came to me before on a bus. That was back in September 2009. I don't want to tell that story. I'll tell that another time. But Yanun came to me. He had on a brown suit. On September the 9th, 2009, I was on a bus going to a sister's house because I didn't have my computer. She's let me use her computer to work on this stuff for Baba to get out of there. And I wasn't really in the best of moods that day, you know. But anyway, Yanun walked on a bus and sat across from me. And when I got off, I noticed this man staring at me, and I turned my head and was looking out the window to avoid. I just thought he was a man trying to flirt with me or whatever. And I turned my body to the side and looked out the window. And then when I got off the bus, he said to me in my mind, "It's me, Yanun." I said, "Oh." When I got up out my seat, he got up and sat in my seat. And I was like saying to myself, this dirty freaking man trying to get my energy. And when I got off the bus, he said, "It's me, Yanun." I said, "Oh, wow." But the bus was going away. So when I walked into the building and saw the Tibetan monk there, that's the first thing I thought. I was like, that's probably Baba. Then I stared at him. And then he got up and went in the bathroom. And I was like, nope, that's not Baba. Because let me tell you something. One thing we try to avoid, spiritual, clean people, is public restrooms. Because that is where the most germs are. People are freaking nasty in bathrooms. I don't care how clean it is. We avoid restrooms. We try to hold it in until we get home or whatever. But anyway, so the Tibetan monk was staring at me and he was smiling and he looked real strong, like real strong, powerful. I was like, man, this man is strong. And I looked at his feet. He didn't have on he had on sandals and everything, you know, like in the picture. And I was like, wow, man. And so, I said, "Is that man?" I asked him about the man that was with him. I said, "Is that your father or something like that?" And he didn't say no, but he just kept looking at me, smiling. So I know that was Baba. That was somebody. I don't know who. I can't really say it was Baba, you know, but Baba can incarnate and come in the form of many people. But he kept smiling at me, you know, and said that I look beautiful. So I'm excited, y'all. I'm happy that my family is with me, and many of you are going to make it. And unfortunately, a lot of you are not going to make it because we in the end of times. And so, you know, I don't say that in anger, like that's what you get, you're not going to make it. No, I just feel bad for a lot of y'all because a lot of you don't really know who the master teacher really is. You don't believe in anything. I mean, you don't know anything. You know, you believe anything anybody tells you. And unfortunately, this devil is very powerful, you know. And Baba said he's a master deceiver, a master deceiver. You understand? And he has his minions and people that work for him. And they're not outside the tribe. They're in this tribe. Informants, CIA agents, FBI agents. Al Woodall is one of them. That brother Kermit D. Knowles is one of them. That lady that called herself Gwen is one of them. Dana Miller is one of them. Carla Thomas is one of them. And I know you'll be like, oh yeah, but she has a daughter with Baba. So what? Abigail Washington had 2 children with the master teacher. And this is what I'm trying to get through to you all. You have to stop thinking that, you know, the people that are up against the master teacher because they have a child, don't let them dangle their children in front of your eyes to destroy your thoughts. And you all have to remember who you were before you came across this doctrine, and stay intelligent and smart. And remember, just like you got scammers out here, you got robbers out here, you got liars out here, you got fake preachers and all that, they're in this tribe. They are in the tribe. They are surrounding the master teacher. Remember, the Tibetan monks came around Baba and said he is surrounded by evil. We have to get you out of here. And after that, Baba went and got the house in Athens. You understand? And they still follow him there. You understand? It's like everywhere he goes, you know, Baba said if you take a pure object and put it in the middle of the room, all these evil things and germs will attach itself to it. You feel me? And so one of the ways that we trap the devil is through our righteousness. They're attracted to righteousness. You understand? They cling themselves around people. Like it says in the Black Devil book, if you are a man or a woman of power, these black devils cling up to you. You understand? And this is what they do. They work their way up. They start off by being friends. They find out who's in charge. They kiss butt. They suck up. They cook. They give gifts. They give presents. They give them money. And they get in. They will do favors. They will do whatever to get in. And once they in, that's when they start their iniquities. They have to get inside in order to destroy who and what we are. But it's not going to work. You understand? Because they fall and they end. They fall in the end. So I'm going to read Revelations chapter 18, the interpretation from Panabab Yanun. And again, I'm going to expose all you black devils. Get ready. All of you whores, all of you black devils, you done pissed me off. All right? You done hit the beehive. So now it's getting ready to go down. You're going on my wall, and I got a big wall, a big white wall. Your picture's going up there in color with your name on the top, where you from, who you are, what you did, and what part of this conspiracy that you play in the game, okay? All of you niggas, so get ready. Get ready for the big exposure. That's what the name of the update is going to be called. The big exposure. Because you're not going to call me a liar and tell me that I'm lying, that the Williams & Williams law firm is real. It's fake. And I'm going to prove it. It is fake. All right? So all of y'all that was giving money, your money to Prince York mother, Fatima Okran, or Shalimar Richardson is a thief and a liar, and the truth ain't in her. And she was in that house with Abigail and all of them too. They all lived together in one big cesspool of maggots. All right? So they played, listen, you know how it went? They played their roles at the moment that they was needed to get this information to the way it was, and it was time for them to leave. And instead of them leaving, they'd rather see Baba go down than for us to reign again, because they know it's going to be even bigger than it was on Tamaray. And that's what the master teacher said. We're going to have a land and a property. It's going to be bigger than Tamaray. And it's going to be built quicker because it's hot in Africa. You know, it has its rainy seasons, but we ain't going to have to worry about getting our monuments and everything back up the way it was in Africa. So those of you who don't know, you're going to find out. All right? Tabajet is here to speak the truth. And I'm going to expose all of these people. Now, let's read Revelations chapter 18. L's Holy Injiyl. Let's go. Hold on. Revelation chapter 18. Here we go. It says, and the confidant wife, which you saw, is the great, Revelations chapter 18, verse 1. Okay, here it is. And after that, this is the Dr. Melchizedek York's interpretation from the King's mistranslation from the King James Bible that was created in 1611 AD. And it says, and after that, I, John, son of Zebedee, and Salome, saw another Anunnaki Elohim descending down from the Orion skies, and he had great authority, and the planet Earth was lit up by his brilliance because he brought the true light to the planet Earth. And he cried with a great voice, saying, Babylon is big. Babylon the big is fallen. The time has now come for the demise of Babylon, the fourth empire of the evil reptilian, to come to an end, like all others, and America has become the dwelling place of demons, a home for the physical, malevolent beings, and the prison of every unclean, unholy, demon, and hated bird, taking the symbol of the eagle for the nature of a vulture, which because it is powerful and it kills. The eagle was not always the symbol of the seal of the United States of America. The original bird was the phoenix bird, which was used because it represented the new Roman Empire, rising out of an old Roman Empire. Because Revelation chapter 18, verse 3, because all nations have drank of the intoxicant of her punishment, of her fornication, partaking in the delicacies of the harlot, living deliciously, will taste the punishment of hell's fires. And the rulers of the planet Earth, who are the real red and black Arabs who fornicated with her, and the businessmen of the planet Earth, have all become very rich by way of her luxuries. Revelations 18, verse 4. And I, John, son of Zebedee and Salome, heard another voice from the Orion skies, saying, Leave her, O my kindred, the family of Adam, meaning you Nubians, so that you don't become a binder of partners with her in her sins. Come out of Babylon, so you won't believe the evil reptilians' teachings that Jesus, the Son of God, the Father of Gabriel, the Holy Ghost, or in Egypt, Osiris, Isis, Horus, or in Babylon, Anu, Iplil, and Ea, or Greece, Zeus, Bethina, and Apollo, or Zoroastrianism, Anu, Anahita, Mithra, or to the Buddhists, Buddha, Bacchus, and Gautama are one and the same. Don't become a polytheist, a person who believes in more than one God by believing in three gods called the Trinity. People became polytheistic through ignorance. For such a grief, there is a grievous chastisement and no forgiveness, so that you all will not get her plagues, which consist of many mentioned throughout the book of Revelation. There are two sets of plagues. The first set are all announced by the blow of the trumpet. We know Trump represents the trumpet being blown. Revelation chapter 18, verse 6. Reward her like the likes. Oh, no. Yeah, there are two sets of plagues. The first set are all announced by the blow of the trumpet. For her sins have piled on top of each other, so that they reach right up to the Orion skies, and the Theos remembers her wrongdoings. Revelations 18, verse 6. Reward her the likes she rewarded you. The harlot will suffer the same treatment she inflicted upon the innocent and righteous souls, and give her twice as much the likes of her own works in a glass which is mixed with a mixture of her own sins. This is the same cup of fornication and abominations the harlot is described as holding her hand in Revelation chapter 17, verse 4. New Babylon America is going to be taken care of the way she has taken care of the Nubian for all these years. The pain, suffering, and heartaches she has inflicted will return upon her. The time has come for Babylon to reap what she has sown, but she will receive it doublefold. Right now, she is pouring the cup of destruction from which she will drink in her endeavor to destroy the Nubian race. Her plan has backfired on her. She tried to kill us off with drugs, but didn't think that her own kids will be dying from overdoses also. She is losing her kids to evil worship and rock music, which is the latest, with the latest being the Black Nubian man's heavy metal hip hop. Everything that they created to harm Nubians has turned around and began to attack them. She destroyed the ozone layer, poisoned the air and water, and has generally broke down the ecological makeup of the planet Earth, causing her people to be affected adversely by the sun. Amorites, Caucasians are literally dropping dead from overexposure to the sun rays. Thus, by her hands, she is causing her very own downfall. Revelations chapter 18, verse 7. As she glorified herself with songs such as America, the Beautiful, the Star-Spangled Banner, My Country, 'Tis of Thee, and her pledge of allegiance, and lived luxuriously in comfort as that, giving her suffering and weeping. As much as the harlot glorifies herself, living good in the lap of luxury, she is too received that much suffering and torment, because she says in her heart, as she truly believed it, surely I sit a queen, which derived from the Old English words queen, C-W-E-N, which means a woman, a prostitute. And I am not a widow, revealing the fact that she did not inherit her wealth and status from a dead man, but that she is simply a product of all the previous empires of the evil reptilian. And I am not going to experience any sadness. She truly believes she will never fall. The United States thinks itself to be invincible, but Theos will pass judgment on her as she will be destroyed. This harlot is symbolic of the Statue of Liberty, the Queen of England, Golda Meir, the Prime Minister of Israel. She petitioned to give the so-called Jews a separate state in Israel, which was broken in 1996 AD by the Jews giving the Palestinians not a part of Israel or Jewish land, but Bethlehem, a Christian land, which resulted in an uprising of Ethiopians all over Israel, the true Israelites, which will continue in and on until an attempt on the part of these true Israelites to take back the Holy Land. The seat of the queen is in jeopardy in 1996 AD by the disgrace of the royal family by harlots. And the seat of the false Israelites in Israel is in threat in 1996 AD by the Ethiopian uprising. These are prophecies being fulfilled when it says the queen will be pulled down by her own people. These women represent the harlot because as leaders of their countries, they succeeded in making the nations of the world partake in her fornications, enjoying her luxuries, and assisting her to condemn others to a life of poverty and starvation. There are also other harlots, such as Elizabeth Taylor and Marilyn Monroe, who represents the two harlots who founded the Thule Society, which were Zigrum and Maria Orstich. They tried to represent them with Cher and Madonna, but it didn't work. So they resurrected Marilyn Monroe, and they gave Elizabeth Taylor a second life. She was on the verge of death, and now she looks 20 years younger. Her health is not as bad anymore. They couldn't physically resurrect Marilyn Monroe because she was already dead. So what they did was put out her face all over posters and on stamps, and they even have a computer software program for her. That is how they resurrect their dead. Princess Diana, Di, is the new harlot. She is the one who was to bring the harlot to the throne. In Revelations chapter 17, verse 4, it says that the harlot was arrayed in gold and precious pearls and stones. And if you go back and check out Princess Di's wedding, she had the most elaborate wedding. They want to dethrone the royal family because they are an embarrassment by bringing scandals about money, sex, infidelity, etc. They are bringing all kinds of attention to them. This is the prophecy of the harlot bringing down the world. That's why they call her Princess Di. Di meaning death. Revelations chapter 18, verse 8. Just for that, her plagues will come in one day. The plagues will come all at once. The way the world is today, with all its disease, with its all diseases, famines, pestilence, earthquakes, and wars, there will come death from many different circumstances. People will start to feel the serious side effects of the wrath of the Most High in the form of the many natural and unnatural disasters which will plague the earth. Death by war, death by disease, death by forces of nature as never seen before, and weeping and starvation. The people of America shall cry from their misery, and some will die from their inadequate water supplies and food shortages, devastating effects of mass famine and droughts. She will burn by a fire because Theos, the Most High, has power, and he has passed judgment on her. For the first time ever, a world war will be fought on America's soil. Nations of the world will fight a fierce war against her, bringing destruction never felt before in the shores of the USA. Revelations chapter 18, verse 9. And there will be crying and weeping because of her. When those who have fornicated with the harlot and enjoyed the luxuries afforded them because of their relationship with her see her destruction, they will be exceedingly sad because they will see their own world go up in smoke. The rulers of the planet Earth who fornicated with her and enjoyed the comforts of life, when they see the smoke of the fire of her burning, they thought that America was indestructible and will be very severely disappointed. Revelations chapter 8, verse 10. And standing from far distances, because they are in terror of her torment, they will not come to her aid for fear that her punishment will befall them. That's exactly what happens quite frequently with America internationally saying plague. Plague is the great city Babylon, the city which has so much power. Just because of 1 hour has come your judgment. The end of New Babylon has finally come. In a half hour from 1970 AD, it has been on a course to eternal damnation to occur in the year 2000 AD. Revelations chapter 18, verse 11. And the businessmen of the planet Earth will cry and weep because of her. They will see their individual empires of wealth crumble right along with America. They will react in the same manner the merchants of Tyre did when that great city fell in Ezekiel chapter 27, verse 27 through 36. Because of all their merchandise, no one will buy from them anymore. They will no longer have a great demand for their merchandise. When Babylon, America, goes up in smoke, the businessmen, merchants will lose their most lucrative customer. The United States is one of the biggest importers of the world. By virtue of this, the economic destruction and reaction of those who will witness it in horror. Just as Tyre fell, so will Babylon. Revelations chapter 18, verse 12. The merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and pearls and silks and purple and silks of red and all kinds of expensive woods and every pottery from ivory and every pottery of precious stone and brass and iron and marble. From this you can see that this great city Babylon is very wealthy. These lists of imports and exports in this verse and the next that This power controls is impressive. Revelations chapter 18, verse 13. And cinnamon and merchandise of frankincense and perfumes and intoxicants and oil and fine flour and wheat and livestock and sheep and horses and chariots and slaves who are you, the Nubians, and are still the slaves of the Caucasian. After all these years, they are the dead blacks, Negroes, who out of their trust in the Caucasian man eagerly slave from him Monday to Friday, all for the mighty dollar bill and the very spirits of nation of people with all the money they acquire from the merchandise. They want people to kill other people. The Amorite Caucasian has no regard for life. If it's in the way of his physical fulfillment of wealth, it's all part of the crumbling of his descendant society. Its very fiber is shredding apart. Revelations chapter 18, verse 14. And the fruits that your spirit lusted after, such as prostitutes, yet no more whores and harlots will be available, and are separated from you, and all kinds of things which are small and needed disappeared. Every convenience of everyday living will be gone. The basic necessities of life will be a thing of the past. No more export, trade will mean an end to having the things that Americans normally take for granted. Revelations chapter 18, verse 14. Revelation chapter 18, verse 15. The things which made the businessmen rich are now standing far away from them. Businessmen will have no more businesses to tend. The Donald Trumps, the Adan Khoshoggis, and the Murdochs, the richest men in the world, will have no more wheeling and dealing, for even the hub of the new Babylon, Wall Street, will be crushed. They will realize that their fate is tied up with America's because of the fear of the pain. They cry and weep. They will experience the devastation of their whole world right before their eyes. Revelation chapter 18, verse 16, saying, Plague, plague is the great city, which was wrapped in silk and purple and red-colored mask of gold and precious stones and pearls, which is used as a veil of wealth to conceal all its evil. On the outside, America looks like a beautiful gem. It has lured many innocent victims into its shores. Revelations chapter 18, verse 17. Because in 1 hour will be destroyed great riches. In just one swoop, the empire of New Babylon will fall, and all its glitter and wealth will be destroyed, and all her leaders and all those who accompany with sailors and ships, and all who work in the sea. They too will stand far away. The Persian Gulf, Suez Canal, the Panama Canal will all be cut off from America control and trade. Revelations chapter 18, verse 19. And they all cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, Who resembles this great city? As they cry, they do in compassion for the new Babylon, who at one time was marveled at for its uniqueness. Today, people consider no place on earth to be like the USA. No nation on the planet Earth can compare to the United States. Its culture and influence dominates the world. They will see the glorious America go up with the smoke of its burning, which will cause them to cast dust upon their heads, an act of sorrow and dismay. Revelation chapter 18, verse 20. And they cast dust upon their heads and cried in a loud cry, weeping, saying, Plague, plague, at last the great city, the new Babylon, USA, with whom they all became rich, which had ships in the sea. all nations and businessmen of the world who traded with the United States from buying by way of her costliness, and caused herself and those who associate with her to suffer a great loss because of the expensive lifestyle the inhabitants of her shores have become accustomed to. Because of this, in 1 hour it will be destroyed. Revelations chapter 18, verse 20. So be happy because of her. Not everyone will be sad to see Babylon completely destroyed. Some will rejoice because of her demise. O you who are in the Orion skies, who are the 24 elders, and those souls who had already been slain because of righteousness. O you who are the holy apostles and prophets, news bearers, who delivered messages to chosen men and women, because Theos, the Most High, sent her for you. Revelations chapter 18, verse 21. And there rose a strong Anunnaki, Elohim, with a very large millstone, which was the upper stone of the rubbing mill, and cast it into the sea, saying, by violence will this city Babylon receive her destruction, the same as it has ruled the world and wreaked so much havoc and confusion throughout the planet Earth, and will not be found anymore after that. When she falls, there will be no other empires like hers to come ever again. Revelations chapter 18, verse 22. And there won't be heard in you, the United States of America, the new Babylon. From now on, any sounds of the plagues will be over. You won't hear the sounds of the people wailing and bemoaning their state, nor the sounds of the harpers, nor any musicians, nor any flutes, nor any trumpeters. The sound of music will be gone. There won't be any parties or concerts to go to. No more music videos. No craftsmen or skills of any kind will be found in you, and the sound of the millstone won't be heard in you after this at the end. Revelations chapter 18, verse 23. And the light of the lamp of the lighthouse will cease to shine out their guiding beam upon the seas. They will not shine anymore in you, the United States. After that, and the voice of the bridegroom and the bride, no more family life as the people of Babylon know it today. It will cease to exist. It will not be heard in you after that, and your businessmen, politicians, superstars, preachers, priests, pastors, witches, and warlocks, who were the heads of the planet Earth by way of their sorceries. They have deceived all nations. They have tricked the whole world into worshiping Zuin, the evil reptilian, sometimes called the devil, Satan, Diablos, Ha-Satan, and a host of other names, and no one knows what they are, devil worshippers. And no one knows that they are devil worshippers. Revelations chapter 18, verse 24. And in her, Babylon, the United States of America, can be found the blood of the prophets who were persecuted for doing the work of the Most High, and the holy ones, the 144,000, who will be raised from all parts of the earth, and all of the righteous who have existed on the planet Earth, because they have kept themselves pure. They will be worthy to be taken up. They will become the sons and daughters of the Most High, and all who were killed in the planet Earth, all the righteous who would be killed after John, son of Zebedee, and Salome's time until the end. And that's it. Revelations chapter 18. I wanted to read that. And all of you leaving your comments, I haven't read it. I'm reading the book. And I also have this last thing that I would like to read, and it's from Hakehu. It's Hakehu, his story. And it's on page 12 from the Master from the Master Teacher, Panabab Yanun, known as Dr. Melakazi York today. He wrote in this book about his story. He says, so they move in cycles. I'm not going to read the Nawapic because I want people to understand No, I'm going to read the Nawapik. So they move in the water at cycles of Wakut time, and they have changed as the planet changes, Shakal, shape, from 25,000 to 24,000 years. The water at cycles of 6,000 year the water at cycles. And this is the last 6,000 Shamutat years of the second 24,000 Shamut year, the war cycle, and ends in 2000 AD from 4000 BC on to the last 1,000 Shamutat years, or final 1 day of the 7 days of the seventh day, 7,000 years the here on earth after 6,000 year dominion ends. If you go back to my update on, my YouTube class on Saturday, you will see me showing you the menorah where the master teacher breaks down the end of their 6,000 year rule, and the seventh represents their end. And the spell of Kingle cast upon others will fade away. A great awaken by way of Wu Sabat, Misbatia, Sabiic, as Muspatu Jawef Masbatia. And now the wrath of the galactic brothers is being revealed by way of Fatir al-Fatar, natural nature, and Takas, weather, the Wakut, time of change and healing from above and beneath against all Mu'adamu, Adamites, and those who live in the Shabbat, image of this kind of man, a made Zazaz man, and Jawedness, wickedness of their minds and hearts, those who suppress the Sawab truth by their 6,000 years of Jawedness, wickedness, and Kazab at lies. For although the Mu'adamu Adamites and their Salal race knew the Sawab truth, they neither taught it nor preached it. So the master teacher is saying, but their thinking became futile and their thinking became futile, and their foolish Abab at hearts will lie in curse. They lost their very Ba'a'u souls. And it came to pass when all the kings of the Amorites, which were on the side of Jordan westward, this is Joshua chapter 5, verse 1. And it came to pass when all the kings of the Amorites, which were on the side of Jordan westward, and all the kings of the Canaanites, which were by the sea, heard that the Lord had dried up the waters of Jordan from before the children of Israel until we were passed over, that their heart melted, neither was their spirit in them anymore because of the children of Israel. So this chapter, Joshua chapter 5, verse 1, it shows you where they lost their soul. So the court Mukasu, they don't have a soul. So those of you that are working for the Caucasian race, working for the FBI, working for the government, you informants that came up against the master teacher and against his people and went along with this story, and those of you who are trying to accuse our master teacher, Dr. Melikazi York, of being a child molester, when I do my next update, this is going to clear the whole air. It's going to help you all understand what took place, why it took place, and who was a part of it, okay? And for the record, those of you that helped me in the past, I promise you, your works for helping me get where I am today to help the master teacher will not be forgotten. Even though some of you, we don't talk anymore, some of us fell out, we're family. You understand? And what's important is that we were together for that moment when we needed to get things done. And I pray that you all get yourselves together, get your lives together, drink plenty of water, go out for walks, get in the sun, work out, eat right, and prepare for the return of Panabab Yanun, because he most surely will be here. And so with that, I gotta go. I want to thank you all for tuning in. And like I said, this live was for this was just for me to let you all know that I got another update. So I'm gonna do her jar and her uncle and her mother, but before I do them, I got to expose these people. They have to be exposed. I have to expose all the lawyers, all this stuff that took down. I'm going to break it down into science, and I'm going to bring you facts and things that you can all look up. I'm going to write down information. So y'all, when y'all come on this next live that I give, which will be probably in about a week or two, maybe 2 weeks, I want you all, listen, this is a lot of work that I have to do because I have to print their pictures. I got to put their names. I got to break everything down. So this is not going to be something, it looks easy. You know, it's just like you see somebody roller skating and you can't skate. It looks easy, but it's not, because you got to keep falling until eventually you get it. And even though you become a professional skater, it doesn't mean that you're not going to fall. You know, you just have to get back up and keep rolling. You know, I'm a professional roller skater, and I wasn't always professional. I started off by holding on to things, you know, and then eventually you get your balance, you get used to them, and then you start rolling. Next thing you know, you start dancing, then you start spinning. You know, this all takes practice. So the same thing with this update that I'm about to give you all, because the math teacher has said to me so many times, it's my job just as well as it is his job to help save the lost sheep of the house of Israel, Ishmael. And so this is just my job to help save y'all lives. So you won't be hurt the way I did. You just heard me read the book of Revelations. Witches are real, warlock is real, and they built this whole planet through sorcery. When you see all them people up there with them big positions, and please, they're witches and warlocks, and they do all kinds of rituals, and they do all kinds of initiations to be initiated, you know, like they do in colleges and stuff like that, to get their fame and their glory and their money. And you heard what the math teacher said about the book of Revelations. When it ends for them, they talking about all the superstars, Beyonce, Jay-Z, all of them, Snoop, I hate to say because I like Snoop Dogg, you know, but all of them, you know, they all going down because they bit the apple. You know what I'm saying? They took a part of this harlot and this disgusting, you know, way of living. All the rappers, all they do is talk about guns, shooting, killing, and they're influencing children to behave this way. And this generation is just horrible. Like, people are just robbing people, shooting them, killing them. It's like shooting somebody is nothing to them. Somebody get into an argument, they pulling out a firearm. You know, somebody get mad. Nobody just, you know, duke it up anymore. There's no fists fighting. It's killings like never before. They recently found a girl in a vehicle. She had a body of her sister's daughter wrapped up in a suitcase, and it was maggots all over the body, and the body had turned white from like Michael Jackson's skin, the man said. And the officer cried. He couldn't even, when he saw it, he was bugging out because they kept smelling this smell, and they didn't even look in the bin. She had the body of a 2-year-old boy. I think he was 4 years old or 2-year-old. She had the body of another boy in a bin, and she was driving around in his car with these bodies in her car, you know. And there was an African lady with her that didn't know about it, and she kept saying, do they have the death penalty or whatever? She had the bodies wrapped up in blankets inside of a suitcase, you know. And it's just shootings like never before. And these are Caucasians and Nubians, Nagardanatu, black people, you know, or brown people that are walking around here committing all kinds of kidnapping children and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And we got people like that, sick people that are mentally disturbed in this tribe. Do not be fooled. You people stay away from these brothers and even these sisters that come in the name of Wusabat, pretending that they walk with us. Okay? Stay to yourself. Stay away from these strangers. They're strangers. Y'all don't know them. Okay, I lived in Athens, Georgia with these people. I'm not going to make nothing up. It's not slander. It is the truth. And if what I'm saying ain't true, then go live, play my audio, stop it, and do like I did to defend what the right to right the wrong. We're family. If you think what I'm saying about any of you is a lie, then clear your freaking name. Don't talk about it in a meeting amongst other people, or whisper to somebody and say, yeah, Pop said this and Pop said that, because guess what? If Baba feels a certain way, he will let his words be known. He will come live. He will come public. okay? To let it be known that these are all lies, okay? I've been having my YouTube channel up for the last 2 years now. He ain't told me to take it down yet, and I'm not. I'm going to expose all of the informants, black devils, and evilness. You all get yourselves together. The devil's time is up. You just heard me read the book of Revelations. You can go through it again yourself and read it. It doesn't end well for them. And unfortunately, some of our own people, including family members, blood relatives, is going down with this harlot, okay? Going down with Babylon the Great is falling. This country is going to get it and going to see havoc and craziness like never before. You guys get yourself right, all right? And thank you for tuning in. And I hope I didn't forget anything. Nope, I didn't. Well, I do.